this is where I could test out if the audio is really good. I'm just using the iPad. It is 9:30 at night, and I completely forgot I had to film a video. Now, this is going to be a very quick comic haul. I need to return these books. These are due today, and I wasn't able to get an extension. And even if I were, I mean, honestly, it's Monday. I'm not going to upload this till Wednesday. I don't want to wait. But, like, I finished these books anyway, so why not? But very quick comic review. First up is the final Batgirl Brendan Fletcher volume. Batgirl Volume 3, Brendan Fletcher. Now this one, I'm not sure if I ever showed off, because I got this very late. Yes, actually, I did not show this one off. This I'm like almost positive. This one I got very late. I kind of have forgot. Well, actually, no, I didn't forget about it. They didn't have it. There's two catalogs. They didn't have on the second catalog and the first catalog. It takes a lot for the long time for the book to come in. So the other ones that come in, I was like, I'm not gonna. I'll wait till next time. Get it next time. It's not even the book I'm that excited to read, anyways. So we'll wait. But then I decided last minute, you know what? Let's get Minefields. Because I do really want to get the Hope Larson run, finish that up, and then get to the Marguerite Scott run. Now, this one, I like the whole entire series, but more than the second one? No, more than the first. It was kind of in the middle. It has a lot of Brendan Fletcher's strengths, but then his weaknesses too. Nice little style with the artwork mostly, but I want to say that has to do in part with the writer too. And where is it the most prevalent? Because for the most part, it's like, I really hate this. I don't know if it's Brendan Fletcher's idea, but this interpretation of Commissioner Gordon, I'm not like too well versed in New 52. I know like the basics, but one change I'm not sure of is in Convergence. Hell, like Convergence I know nothing about. When Convergence happened, was that when Commissioner Gordon made a change in its appearance? Was that because of Batman Detective Comics, I believe it was, or just Batman the Scott Snyder run? Shows my naivete, but I always saw that. I remember seeing that, and I was like, "That, what the hell is this? Like, is this an Elseworlds? Is this a dream sequence?" And I just never got used to it. Never liked it, and I don't want to blame Brendan Fletcher if he's not at fault. He could be though. But yeah, sometimes the style is pretty neat. Like the action sequences do pop with this new kind of artwork. I like this kind of like that kind of artwork there, but just very mid. I will only read this run if I forget what happens. Like next time next time I reread Gail Simone's run, I want to reread Hope Larson's run. No, next time I'll like stop after Gail Simone's run and like Hope. I can't imagine Hope Larson's run is. Well, I won't say that, but what I'm trying to say is I don't think they even have up to Cecil Castellucci's run on Batgirl at local libraries interloan system. Even then, I think they stop after like maybe in volume 1 of Marguerite Scott's. Sometimes a library just does not the lending library that has like most of Batgirl might not even have like the most recent volume before it got canceled. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like they don't. They stop after volume 8 out of 10. It's really weird. I don't understand that. But not a whole lot to say about this run that I haven't already said. But strengths again, the artwork, it's engaging. Like I was never bored. But you just have that. It just feels like a Saturday morning cartoon. One that tries a little bit harder, but also one that you just like forget about after you watch it. 6 out of 10. Because again, the strengths do outweigh the weaknesses. If I am never bored of reading each issue of a comic, but I don't feel like reading more than one issue per day, then you have a 6 out of 10 already on your hands. But everything else is just kind of like eh, and just that interpretation of Batgirl, it does not fit at all with Gail Simone's run. Gail Simone's run felt like the movies, the Batman, 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 the Batman Batgirl, like all those movies, and then this just felt like a CW show or the Saturday morning cartoon. Honestly, I'd say more CW. I think more Saturday cartoon because of the artwork and like the really like cutesy dialogue like they sometimes will get to and the Sims get to. They'll sometimes be present and sometimes neither sounds right. But the cutesy dialogue, and then sometimes it's that, and then like there's just annoying humor. But it's not too bad. Like it's not excessive. It's just bland. Winter Soldier, for whatever reason, like I was reading this per day. Yeah, I took a little break because the way I've been reading these books has been awful. Like I just have not been reading them the way you usually read them. Part of that is due to the fact that I still have those image books to read, and I make that top priority. Like I have to read one of those per day, because and I kind of like novelty. Like on the 14th of each month, I'm on the 14th issue of each book. Some of them I finished, but some of them are on the 14th issue of that book. So I like to read them per day. And for Sex Criminals, that's exactly 31 issues. Yes, there's not 31 days in June. There are 30. But hey, I don't even count issue 69 or 31. It's actually the 31st issue because they want to do an in-joke. It's 69th issue. I don't even include that as an issue. It's just a joke. Honestly, I think it is a joke. Like literally an in-joke. It's like an alternate ending. I hate it. First time I read it, I hated the alternate ending to Sex Criminals. It's considered to be like just a joke. You know, again, like I keep saying, not really, honestly, not really a funny one, but that's why I kind of had a hiatus, if you will, and why it's been taking me so damn long to finish all these. But Winter Soldier, like, even when I was reading it consistently per day, for whatever reason, I would forget what happened in the previous issue. And it wasn't that I was daydreaming or distracted or anything like that. Nowadays, when I do get that way, I just reread what I missed when I was daydreaming or whatever. I try really to like stay on topic. I'm getting pretty good at it. I don't know. It's just ever since I got my new job, it's been 80,000 things on my mind at one time. That's why sometimes I'll lose my train of thought when I'm doing videos, and I just kind of like I can't lock in completely. Sometimes I get good. Like right now, I'm good, and you know I'm reading. Sometimes I'm good, but and I'll just like lose it. And it wasn't that. It was just I don't know what it was, but I don't blame the book itself. And the last arc, the Black Widow arc, is by far one of the best written arcs in comics that I've read in a while, in terms of intrigue and suspense. It didn't break new ground, but it did end in that way. That I'm glad it ended this way. I did expect it to end this way, but there's a little twist. I was like, what is a twist? And I found out what the twist was, and I was like, oh, it's pretty clever, and pretty devastating too. But that is exactly what Winter Soldier should be, and it's something that I think the MCU does do more often than people give it credit for. But I just revert back to Civil War. So, but definitely worth checking out. 8.8 out of 10, maybe closer to 8.5. And even like, it does honestly like I do want to reread that already because of what I don't remember. Which I don't think like I think I remember more than I thought I did. You know what I mean? Green Lantern Earth 1 Volume 1. This was as good as I remember it being. This I think they should. This is a nice little template for a Green Lantern movie. It's different enough to where people like. I don't think you want to make that many changes because he's not a fighter pilot. He's an astronaut, and I think people will be like, well, why not make him a fighter pilot? So maybe make that one change. Well, I think he can't even make that change because it relies on him being an astronaut. But this is a knockout. Another knockout from Gabriel Hardman and Karina Bachko. I said Sora, but right here is Karina Bachko. I know it's Sora and something else. They give you her middle name. I think for her indie work, I guess. I don't know. That's where I noticed it, is what I'm trying to get at. Even Planet of the Apes would be her indie work. Well, not creator owned, because she did not create Planet of the Apes. She's not that old. But another knockout from these two. They don't get enough recognition. Even for his artwork, he doesn't give enough. Gabriel Hardman does not get enough recognition. But another knockout from them. this is an OGN, so I've read this all in one sitting, and it was not that much of a chore. I say that much because I did definitely notice it here and there, but it wasn't like I didn't feel like this was 120, 128, 130, 140. I don't know. I did not feel like it was over 100 pages. I felt like it was more like 80 pages. So even better if it's 190 pages. It's not that long. It's probably more like 140, maybe not even that much. Oh yeah, and 8.5 out of 10. So next one, Head Wound Sparrow. I am happy to say it was more like the first time, but this is a weird one, very bizarre. And I feel like even if you're like, it doesn't matter if you're daydreaming, if you're just skimming it, like you're not even like you're only paying half mind to it, or if you're like me and you're giving your full attention to it, you're still not gonna get exactly what happens. It's very strange, very bizarre, kind of pretty confusing, but the good kind of confusing where you know enough, but it's you finish it and you're like, I don't know exactly, I don't even know what I read. Like know kind of what I read, but not really. Um, I do like it. I think it's nice that more indie comics go this route because it does go to show that getting their own, like making their own comic the way that they want to pays out and it pays off in the end. Now is this going to be one that people talk about like years later as an underrated gem? Probably not, but they'll make that book that people read just to kill 2 hours. It's something like 2 hours to read. Another quick one, and this one was 120 pages, but it felt more like 100. I guess it wasn't that much different. I did sort of feel the length, but I would say it was closer to, not as close to Green Lantern Earth 1, but pretty damn close. Honestly, the more I think about it, it was pretty close. So, but like 85 pages, let's say. Uh, but yeah, very confusing, but nice, very, very well written. The story. So what's kind of funny is that the story is different. There's different credits. So writer is Brian Buccellato. I like the writing. But the story was done by Robert Johnson. I found the story, and who else was it? And John Alvey. And I found the story to be pretty confusing. It's also created by Robert Johnson too, even better. And it's not created by Robert Johnson and Brian Buccellato, it's just Robert Johnson solo. So it's kind of funny I say that. So even better. I got this because of Brian Buccellato. I wanted to explain out again. But that, as I say, is that. How long are we going for? 12 minutes. Alright, I'm good now.